This is Amigos PC. If you were looking for a highbrow, fancy, smart, regal podcast with hosts that love to talk about horse riding, badminton, and trips to the vineyard, you're in the wrong place. This is Amigos PC. If you're looking for drinking, random nonsense, stunts, shenanigans, and balls out craziness, you've hit the jackpot. This is Amigos PC, and this is Scott and Mark.
Hello. Am I starting this?
Yeah.
I guess so. Today's episode is brought to you by Restaurant.com. With Restaurant.com, you can save thousands of restaurants across the country with just a few clicks. Their dining deals from $5 to $100 never expire and cost you a fraction of the face value. Dinner has never been easier with Restaurant.com. Use your dine-in, take-out, or delivery. Restaurant.com is offering our listeners 50% off their next purchase go to restaurant.com/podcast. That's restaurant or www.restaurant.com/podcast for 50% off your next purchase. For the best deals every meal. And let's go.
That was like a half an hour quicker than our last read.
Was it the same one?
Yeah, with our last episode.
Really? Wow. Well,
Bobby Del Rio joins us on this episode. Bobby, can you give us a little bit of insight of you and what you do and how you do it, if you do it,
and how you do it?
Yes.
Did you?
Let's see if we can do the whole podcast just making noises.
Ooh, ASMR. I like it.
I
know my name's Bobby Del Rio. I'm here in Toronto, Canada. I'm 42 years old. I'm here in the film industry. I really should be more successful than I am, which is probably not a good way to start the podcast, but I've done a lot of stuff. I've acted in a lot of stuff, and I just wrote and directed a feature film called The Market. That's on Amazon Prime in the US for you guys. I've been a playwright, screenwriter. I get in a lot of trouble accidentally, like all the time. Like if I try to write something on Facebook and I'm like, this will get me a bunch of likes. I'm gonna be, like the Donald Trump heel, and then I'll say something, I'll get like 2 likes, and I'm like, fuck, and then I'll just like say what I think about. So like I think I said, oh, I just finished watching the Twilight franchise and I realized my spirit animal is a 14-year-old girl, and I just meant it like, just sort of a casual and then I started getting viciously attacked by multiple people for insulting the Aboriginal peoples of Canada. I was like, for liking Twilight? like this is just my life, right?
What do they say though? No publicity or publicity is good publicity, or there's no such thing as bad publicity? Or am I wrong?
Or
some people get so angry, like it's good, I guess. But like very innocently, I create controversy constantly, and then if I try to create controversy, it's like people are like, yeah, right, buddy, we don't buy it. Like if I was to say something about the election, something political, it's like, yeah, whatever. And I remember I wrote something like, I love you all on Facebook, and someone's like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Wow.
And it's like my life.
I felt moved. I love you.
Wow, they just follow you, it seems. They're just coming after you.
I don't know what it is. It's a very weird thing, because I find the more genuine and kind I am, the more people want to just throw donkey shit into my face.
Nice.
And it's like, if I, try to get the donkey shit, like, oh, this will be good for me. It's like, it has to like authentically, sort of, you have to earn the donkey shit.
Right.
By being nice. Or something.
Do they think you're coming off as being like sarcastic? Is that why they're so like?
I have a theory. I mean, we have time. I can get into it if you want.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. My theory is this. My theory, because I have a pretty good reputation in the industry. I've been around for 2 decades, and I've helped a lot of people get jobs in the multicultural world, and I've done a lot of things to help the community. And so I have a very like tolerant, sort of message. Or I'm like, that's why even with all the election stuff right now, I've just, for me, it's like, you vote for Trump, you vote for Biden. It doesn't, like, I'm not going to hate you for, I wish there was a bit more of that, because I just think ultimately we're all human beings at the end of the day. So I'm really look, some people, I think take things too far, but I just fundamentally believe that if we all could just be in the same room, like us, like we're just, we just get along, like we're all humans at the end of the day. And that's why people fucking hate me for saying things like that. I'm like, hey guys, I see both sides. Yeah, you would see both sides, you scum.
We don't usually get into politics too much on the show, but you being in Canada, have you been watching what's been going on, and what's your insight looking from the outside?
Yeah, and I do a weekly podcast called Upload on YouTube, where we talk about politics all the time. And it's funny because we're Canadian, but we end up talking about American politics because we may even consume more American media than you do.
It's probably true, because a lot of us tend to not even pay attention or try not to, just because it's either one-sided, it seems sometimes. And
Canada has, we have such an inferiority complex with the United States that I think that to overcompensate or something, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like we're like those Japanese tourists, that stereotype. We're like USA, A-okay, like, we're like,
even tourists. Though we constantly shit on Canada, like I can't think of a time where most people don't make fun of Canada in some way, especially when it comes to politics, because a lot of the red here thinks it's like what Canada is wrong. Like everything about it is wrong.
Right. Well, we think the same thing, so get along. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's Canadians hate each other more than Americans could hate us. I mean, we have just such a deep, level of insecurity here. That's why it's like we're kind of like the little brother, and we look at, I guess, the United States as like the big brother, and it's like you can slap us in the face, and we're like happy to get the attention. Thank you.
That's a good way.
He knows my name.
Yeah. He's the middle child. They're the middle child.
The middle child, yeah. But they're not that crazy, because middle children are normally the crazy ones for the most part.
Yeah, or
I say little brother. That sounds probably more right.
I will say, from the Canadian perspective, I mean, I think that it's just, the USA is just a very different country from Canada. Like we really are like the stereotypes. We're pretty polite and like kind and weird. No, this isn't to say that we're very passive aggressive in Canada. So you don't really get like insults, but you just like maybe somebody will say sorry, but they may not quite mean it.
Oh, like bless your heart,
but really fuck you kind of thing.
You have to interpret silences in Canada.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like that Texas charm, that Southern charm that they have.
Right. Yeah, that's about right.
I've always depended on the kindness of strangers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we speak in Canada. This is my Canadian accent.
Wow, that's the real thing. Wow, we're getting it all today.
I know, right?
Man, I learned so much. Sadly, before we got on, we had to find out. This is going to sound bad. We were looking to find out where in Canada you were.
So we failed geography when we were in.
Yeah, so we were thinking, all right, no, you're up near towards the Washington side. We're thinking, right? But I had to pull it up. No, you're near the New York side.
Yeah.
Of things. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So we're both retarded. So we're special.
Yeah.
Sometimes in Canada we get very offended, but then I'm like, if I was in the US, like, why would I know where Toronto is?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big sports fan. Like, where's Indianapolis? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. It's true.
Why would you know? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I know where LA is. I know where New York is. I don't even really know where Arizona is. I'm like, I think it's near California.
Yeah, you're we're near We're right at the border of Mexico. Not us, but that's where we are. Arizona is. When
We're
you think
a
of it.
couple hour drive.
Yeah. So
few hour drive. I feel
Like I'm a big basketball fan, so Arizona. I think of Phoenix. I think of the Phoenix Suns. I go Steve Nash and Charles Barkley.
Yep.
I mean, you would know Steve Nash, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Yeah.
And
no, really.
that was probably when the last time we started, when we were watching the Suns, or when we were Suns fans, back when that was going on. Them and Steve Nash and Amari.
Yeah.
Was
Amari
then?
Cooper. Oh, that's such a good team,
No,
dude.
Amari Stoudemire.
Oh yeah.
Amari Cooper.
no, not him.
Throw a little
football.
bit of NFL in there, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Throw it in there. Amari
Well,
Stoudemire.
he could probably play for them now. They suck.
God, I know. Yeah.
No, it's one of the worst. I can't even sit.
That's
through
why
a
we don't
team.
even watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
Or a
both of our
game.
teams.
A team game.
And
Are you
then,
guys in Phoenix?
Well, we're just we're in a suburb of Phoenix,
basically.
like on the outskirts of Phoenix, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
You got Kyler Murray though, right?
We do, yeah. Our
that
Cardinals
guy-
are doing pretty decent
Yeah.
this year. I haven't
That
been
guy's
watching
the
a whole
truth,
lot.
man.
I'm pretty surprised that he can like jump and then throw the ball over the offensive line. Someone that's 4'8"
Yeah, it's
playing
so much.
football, it's just amazing.
But you gotta figure he's probably been doing that his whole life, right? I mean, I'm sure he's been this sort of undersized QB ever since, like grade 7, high school. So he probably just mastered the jump throw or whatever he calls it.
The Doug Flutie,
The Doug Flutie.
the Flutie throw.
I remember I was at I used to play basketball, not like obviously professional or anything. But I would, I was pretty good, and I would just, I'd play at the Y, and I would see this guy wearing a weighted vest, and I don't know if he was like some prep school or something, and he would do this weird thing where he practiced like 10 feet behind the 3-point line, doing these series of dribbles and then shooting a 3, and the guy would hit it like every single time.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, he's like practicing that because he's going to do that in a game. He's going to do this like 3 dribble spin hit, and you would never think that he would hit that shot because it looks ridiculous, but he's practicing it. Like I bet you Kyler Murray is like practicing that all the time.
I wonder if he uses like trampolines to like
practice and then
spring his legs up or work those muscles.
Oh yeah,
it's probably true.
yeah, that's smart.
I only say that I'm just joking. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't have some token move where he like jumps and throws the ball, but he's like 5'3", 5'4", 5. He's not
Maybe
very
5'5",
tall. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
3'2", and
He's a small
it's
dude.
just funny that he's a smaller quarterback. I've always constantly made fun of him.
Yeah.
Being since he got drafted.
Yeah.
And it's
But
just crazy
But
that
it's been working. So
I know.
far, so you can't really.
Oh yeah.
Once he gets really hit,
Yeah.
Like one of those big.
So
hits.
this is a perfect example of as a Canadian, you're consuming more media than we are, because I wouldn't have thought to bring up the Cardinals or I can't even fucking say his
Kyler
name.
Murray?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kyler Murray. But you did because of Amari Cooper. But
Stoudemire.
I mean, I'm a little bit of a different case because I've been like a sports writer, and I worked for like companies in the United States. So I was even invited into the Yahoo Friends and Family Fantasy Basketball League when I was a columnist. Yeah, so I finished second place in the world in this league of fantasy experts. So I may consume more sports than most people, but for example, we have the Toronto Argonauts and the CFL, which is the Canadian Football League, and I don't even care, but like I know the NFL like pretty well,
So that would be something. Do most Canadians watch more CFL? Or do they watch NFL? Or
Nobody watches the CFL.
Really? Wow.
No, nobody. Like for example, because I've often lamented that we don't have an NFL team in Toronto because it would do really well, right? Like we have a rabid fan base.
Yeah.
But the reason that we don't have an NFL team is that it would completely decimate the CFL. Like the CFL would fold immediately if that happened, and yet I would still be down to get that NFL team.
It seems like the CFL is like the WNBA. Like they get participation trophies and they're funded maybe by the NFL. And then I'm just that's a conspiracy, not a conspiracy, but I think it's an accurate comparison. Like for example, we have
we have this thing called the CSAs, right? The Canadian Screen Awards, which are essentially the Emmys and the Oscars combined for Canada.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Because basically nobody watches them, so they're like, okay, well, if we combine the Emmys and the Oscars, then we'll maximize eyeballs and we'll do it for the whole week. Like, it's actually a smart idea. Nobody watches anyway,
Yeah.
but like everyone throws Oscar parties.
Mm,
This is Canada.
yeah.
Hey, you've gone to this then, the Canadian Spirit
Oh,
Awards? Okay.
Yeah, Canadian Spirit Awards. Yeah,
Nice.
that's basically what they are, right?
So do you have any type of crazy stories from that at all, or
Any crazy celebrities or anything that's took place
Oh,
through winning?
Canada. No, it's so
No.
boring. Like, we want it. It's like we'll hear like Lindsay Lohan. Oh my gosh, she showed her vagina again, and she's drunk and vomited on the director or something, you know. And here it's like in Canada, oh, he showed up 5 minutes late. He did call in advance, but don't do that again. You know, like,
Wow. Yeah.
he's walking around saying sorry, here's some Canadian bacon.
Sorry, buddy.
No.
I mean, it's kind of true. You know, like,
Awesome that we're getting our stereotypes just right on.
it's like, I mean, we're a very multicultural society. We're very advanced technologically. We're very educated, all that stuff. But ultimately, like, it's a very nice place to live because even when people hate you, like, they don't tell you.
Nice. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about your neighbor coming after you, which you'd probably fear that here, I would say.
But it's a weird thing, right? Because it's like if you email somebody and let's say it's, you know, I don't know, a girl you want to date or somebody you want to do business with, and they just don't respond, you automatically interpret that to mean go fuck yourself.
Mm.
And you don't say anything, but then maybe sometimes what happens is like 4 years later, they'll be like, oh, how come you didn't email me? And I'm like, I emailed you. You told me to go fuck myself. And they're like, oh, must have gone to my spam folder.
Oh, sure.
Like,
I think
everything is unsaid here. This is one thing I admire about the United States. Everything is said. You know where people stand.
That's
right?
true.
Because they'll burn your house down.
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, there's definitely crazy things that go on here for sure. But I think we have a little bit of that too, as far as some of the people don't say things as much as they'll just stay inside. Like, there's really not a whole lot of neighborly things in some places, really.
Yeah.
It's kind of just you go home and, you know, you pull in your driveway and you kind of run in before you see your neighbor.
You know, that's a good example. My father-in-law knows my neighbors better than I know my neighbors.
So
I refuse to talk to
it just
them.
goes right into his house.
Yep. In the driveway, in the house.
But see, that's, in a way, that's refreshing because in Canada, like, everybody's pretty full of shit, right? So everyone is nice and polite, like, all the time, right? Like, I'm sure even the gangsters doing drive-bys are like, sorry about this. I'll call the cops for you, you know, like.
Yeah. I'll send the ambulance. They're on their way.
But I think it also breeds a bit more resentment because it's like our national sport is hockey, which is, you know, like football with sticks, right? Like, if you could make football more violent, it would be hockey.
That's true.
And I think it's just this way to, like, get out the tension.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I don't understand why rugby isn't more popular, because if you think about it, rugby is kind of like football and hockey
without pads.
Yeah. I mean, there's no ice, but essentially they get to fight on the field. Like, they're fighting for that ball.
Yeah. Very true.
Well, you tell me. I mean, it just seems like why but again, I think it's sort of like how the NFL would destroy the CFL. Like, I think rugby would take business interests away from the NFL.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the NFL is such a moneymaker. Like, I think it makes way more money than the NBA.
For a nonprofit company, you're right. It makes
it's definitely number one.
I almost thought he said the WNBA.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why I thought that.
You're still you got your
on it.
He has his jersey on right now. It's underneath his shirt.
Yeah. I'm wearing the shirt you gave me.
Your Mercury.
Not our shirt. Damn it.
Don't talk about the gifts I give you.
Oh, that's right. I know our gay relationship
I know,
off mic.
It's being brought into everything.
What is your relationship? Are you guys together?
I just met this guy.
Yeah,
This is our
Yeah, I've heard
first
stories from the
episode.
U.S. You know,
It's crazy. I think we're naming it though. From Mark, right?
what's your name again?
I don't know. Scott.
Oh, that's right.
Scott.
like what is it like down there? You know, we're only learning all this information through the media. Although it's like I do this political podcast every week, and so I watch right wing and left wing media. I'm nonpartisan, and I'm Canadian, so I wouldn't be part of either of those parties anyway. But it just seems like you get completely different news depending on what station you watch.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I will say this though, because I've been with the election going on and how everything's kind of spanning or going, it's laying out for everybody to watch and view.
Yeah.
I will say that CNN has been the most unbiased in how they're doing the calculating the electoral votes, giving credit where credit's due, telling, what Trump is doing wrong or right, or like that, or essentially just saying where the votes are and what the process is. Like they're being very clear and trying to get the clear and right answers from like the secretaries of state and things like that. And the other and Fox is calling state, which is hilarious. They called a red state blue extremely early, and now it's coming down to the wire, and we don't even know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
and they're fucking up left and right. So it's like, I would say that I commend CNN right now for the way that they're kind of just broadcasting the election in general.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I saw was the Fox or the thing of Arizona basically being here. They basically called it early. They said it was blue, and then there's still like I don't know. There was still like 30,000, or there was only 70% done when they called it, and then now they're saying today there's still 450,000 votes that haven't been counted. So it's like, so really we don't even know. We won't know until tomorrow. At least that's what they're saying. Who knows if it doesn't roll into Monday or
they said,
knows?
And that's another thing that's really funny about this entire thing that's laying out. They're like, hey, we should be done tomorrow, and we'll have a final answer for you. Georgia and Arizona said that. And then late last night, around midnight our time, Secretary of State got on with CNN. This is where I saw it. And she's like, well, we hope to have Maricopa County done by tonight, but all the other counties are just going to continue counting, and we'll update at 7 p.m. every day until they're done. And that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it just seems so confusing. I mean, what's it like to live there? Like, how can you trust anyone? It just seems everybody's full of shit, and then everybody hates each other, and then what's going on? Like, everyone's got a gun too. I mean, what the fuck? Like the gun control laws in Canada are really.
I mean, we have a gun.
Yeah, it's very it's a very eggshell situation. I would say. I mean, you want to be know what's going on around you.
It's perfect. It's actually perfect. We have a group chat. There's 5 of us, right? Me, you, Troy, Skulls, and Albert. Yeah, 5 of us.
Yeah.
3 of us on paper, maybe Democrats, but in reality, we're really liberal when it comes. Like we're libertarians. We don't pick sides. We just it's paper-wise. We're forced.
I'm the same. I'm a libertarian as well.
So, but 2 of them are like hardcore Republicans.
Yeah,
and it's hilarious because this entire time while things are rolling out, we're throwing memes at each other, and as it starts to pan out, Arizona's blue. They're having a meltdown, and we're like, dude, it's just the votes. Let it happen. And like, it's just funny to see like the Reds, the red hats are like having this ultra meltdown like little babies.
Yeah.
When when Trump won, did we like throw a fit? Did we like talk a bunch of shit? I can't recall if we did.
Yeah, not to sound like it. I didn't really care. You know what I mean? I mean, this year is more kind of crazy. Has been the craziest turnout ever, and we still don't know what's going to happen. So it's like, I just want it over. Honestly, That's my thing. I want it over and done with whoever.
I think it doesn't matter at this point.
I don't
You know,
care.
to me, it's like a whole country of Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees fans. You know, and it's like, okay,
Yeah, that's perfect.
I get it. You know, like I'm just here. You know, I just want to watch some baseball. You know,
Yeah.
but it just seems, and
It kinda
again, I'm
is-
getting
it
my
kinda-
information from the media, but you have to pick your team and support your team. You
See,
know,
and that's the problem too. Is that you're making it all, they're trying to, both sides are trying to make it so tribal to where you're only on that one side, and it's like,
Well, dude, so since they've been counting, every time Joe Biden has come out, he has said, "We," like I'm here for the American people. We are trying to make America great again. I am
I think
for.
he's not, but
Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Great. He
yeah,
didn't say
didn't wanna
that,
say his
but
line.
he keeps saying we, like we the people, essentially. Like, but every time Trump comes out during all this unfolding, it's me. I'm great. I won. It's always me. Am
Right.
I getting that wrong?
I mean, I think that's right. I mean, you tell me. You guys live there, not
No.
me. You know.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I will say,
you and your political podcast, and then you watch more American media than we do. So I figured you would know more than we would.
well, it's funny because in a way, I'm kind of like a bit of a referee, right? It's like I'm the
Okay.
umpire watching
Yeah.
the baseball game, and I don't know. You know, like I just think that people just really want to support their teams, and I think it's really difficult to know who's winning because kind of like both sides make a point, and I don't know. I guess it's like I get that he's saying we. Like I think that means he's trying to like bring people together, but then it would be like the Yankees saying, "Hey, Red Sox fans, you can also cheer for our team." They're just gonna tell him to go fuck himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
That's true.
Because people are so deeply committed to their teams
Yep.
that like how can you bring together in that kind of people together in that climate, you know?
Maybe I'm also having a hard time trying to see how we can't bridge the gap because I'm not a full-fledged Democrat. Like
Right.
I don't bleed blue or any of that stuff. So maybe that's why. You think?
You can see it from both sides, and
Yeah.
that's how I am. I see both sides. I see, one side, which is what libertarian kind of is, right? You see one side of things that makes kind of sense, and the other thing, all right, well, you guys are too crazy with that.
Yeah.
That's where it's like there's got to be that middle ground, is what I think it should be, but everyone likes to go one way or the other, it seems.
This is the most political episode we've
ever had.
All right. I'm sorry. I'll never be invited back again.
No, you're good.
You brought it out.
You did.
in us,
Thank you.
So thank
You
you.
brought
Thank you for that.
But I think the reason that I can have a political podcast and talk politics with anyone is that I don't judge anyone.
Yeah.
Like I remember there was a guy who on Twitter and he was advocating for ethno states, and I'm mixed race. I'm half Chinese and half Italian.
Oh, I couldn't
tell. But I just, I like the guy, right? So I just made a joke about it, right? I was like, well, can I join 2 ethno states then?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is before we got on and I sent you the link, I said to Scott, I'm like, I didn't know Italians were in Canada.
Yeah.
Well, he's close. We found out it's close to New York. So,
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's pretty close.
We breed wherever we can breed, believe me.
So what are your connections to the mafia?
Yeah. Who do you know?
Well, we can't talk about that on air.
Oh.
He's in witness production.
That's true.
But if you need
Canada
something,
witness production.
you let me know.
You got the maple hookup, maple syrup.
If you need back bacon, you need some
Ooh.
moose meat, but like the good stuff.
Good
No,
stuff.
we need some like good like pastrami.
Yeah. Does it come
And
from there?
yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm learning things today. Learning math.
Well, Canada's actually like incredibly, especially Toronto where I am. It's like one of the most multicultural cities in the world.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like over half of the city identifies as like non-white. So we have every culture in the world represented here. So it's actually amazing food. Like we have every kind of culture and ethnicity. That's why a lot of sports people will come to Toronto and do really enjoy it because it's such a multicultural flavor. It's a very actually tolerant place. Like there's a lot of different people. Like I don't know, Torontonians, we really do get along with Americans quite well, I think.
There's a big comedy presence there in Toronto. Like as far as a lot of good comedy clubs, and I mean, obviously in the COVID world, it kind of sucks these days, but it's I hear that's also a good spot for that, and a lot of nightclubs. And
What's a good Toronto comedy club?
I don't know.
There's a friend of mine, Gary Rideout. He owns this place called Comedy Bar, which is like one of the hot spots for comedy in Toronto, and sort of the next generation of comedians all come out of there. And I think he's working with Second City now. I think he's one of the main producers over there. We have like Toronto GTA. Maybe we've got like 4 million people or something. Like it's about the size of Chicago. I think I heard something like that.
Yeah, I mean Phoenix is about that same size.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, so it would be like a decent mid-sized American city, but it's the capital of like Ottawa's the capital, but it's like Toronto's really the main place to go for like business and culture in Canada.
Okay.
So like if you went to a different city in Canada, it'd be a different experience. It might be a little more, of the back bacon snowshoes kind of thing. Toronto is like a pretty.
Now, when you say back bacon, do you mean Canadian bacon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. We're learning.
Yeah, more things.
You got the slang now.
Yeah. Wow. See, we're learning so much. Do you consider would Toronto be like the New York, like a New York City of
Very
Canada?
much so.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah. Like Vancouver's like the LA, like it's a little more laid back. There's more nature. Toronto's
that's what you were thinking.
Yep.
Yeah. Toronto's like New York. Toronto's like business all the time. Business.
Bustle.
Yeah.
Right. But you mentioned food though, and obviously we're huge lovers of food.
I'm gonna diet.
Okay, if you say so. Do you have a favorite place that you like to go to? Is there a favorite kind of food that you like?
So I'm half Chinese, but I really like Korean food, and I live near Koreatown.
Okay.
So I get like authentic Korean food, and like I eat like Caribbean food, and there's Chinatown, Italian food, like when I say every single culture is represented in Toronto, like I really do mean that. Right? Like I've had really good Somalian food, like really like niche cuisine. Wow. You could find anything here.
Yeah, so I would think of that like
I would
New
be
York.
in heaven. I'd be like, let's try this place. Let's try that place. Let's try.
Guys, if you ever come to Toronto, be my guest. I'll take you around.
Oh,
yeah, see?
Cool.
He's got that southern
road
trip.
Now. Yeah, well, that means
he's like, come to Toronto.
That means he's saying fuck you. Then.
Yeah,
that's what it means.
Yeah, don't come up.
He's
right.
saying,
yeah.
really fuck.
Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah. Quit. See the Americans rubbing off on you.
Yeah. No. If you ever find yourself in Toronto, let me know. I'll take you around. There's really good restaurants in Toronto.
Okay, but what's your favorite? I know you're Italian, so I'm pretty sure you may. I don't know. I'm assuming you default that way, but like your favorite hard salami. What's your favorite kind of food?
Well, look, I love Italian food and I love Chinese food. Like what I say is I'm a stereotypical Chinese Italian.
Okay.
That may
I really do.
More.
Like, it's just
so you like salami in your pad thai.
Yeah, well, pad thai is Thai, so.
Oh, that's right. Damn it!
But.
You're Singapore fun. I don't think that. I mean, that's what I get from my Chinese place, but.
You know what's funny? So I was raised in like an Italian neighborhood my whole life. So I didn't even know anything about Asian culture until I graduated from university. And it's funny. So my favorite food right now is Korean, and it's so different from Chinese cuisine. But for me, they are both Asian, but it's so different. So I find it very exotic, actually. Which is why I like it.
Yeah. I mean, the closest thing we get to like any kind of true Korean here is like, I wouldn't even say this is true Korean, but it's Korean barbecue. Like they'll do like, the barbecue tips or
like
that. And it's not real Korean. So here, at least in Arizona, like we don't know. You go to a Korean place and essentially you're just getting regular food.
Yeah, look, Korean barbecue is sort of like the McDonald's of the Korean community.
It's the McRib.
The McRib. That's coming back, by the way.
But like Koreatown is like, like there's 50 restaurants offering authentic Korean food, and every single place is great.
I used to work for a big bank here in the United States or whatever, but they paid for me to go to New York for a month for training purposes time, and I actually spent like a good day in Chinatown in New York, Manhattan, and that was awesome. Like you could just walk. Well, it like Little Italy and Chinatown like kind of intertwined because it's like two S's that involve each other.
That's where Bobby's family met.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
There you go.
Where Little Italy and Chinatown meet. My
And
parents met at the
Chinatown
corner
met.
and fell in love.
Wow. Beautiful love story.
See, I knew we were gonna pull that out.
I know. I love
Right.
it. Great.
But it was good though. You're sitting there, you get to try this like nice, authentic Italian place, and you're going to try all these Chinese food, China virus. This is where I found it.
Yep.
No,
I know.
the Chinese food.
This is part of the reason
and
I'm
you
working
actually
out. 'Cause
try.
Trump keeps talking about all this China virus shit, right? And then Asians get it back. So I'm just like, well, you can give it to me, but you're gonna get it back.
I don't. That's funny that I went there, but either
Oh, no,
he
I mean,
did. He
how can you
thought it
not?
right away.
And he says
That's
like the Chinese. He just says like it's like a bit like he's eating shit. So he doesn't say it's not like a slur, but it is, right?
Yeah.
He's eating
The
shit.
China virus. China
So
virus. And it's
China.
like, oh, we got it. We got
Yeah.
it. China. China. Makes like a fucking weird face. You know, I'm like, fuck, man. And look, here's the thing that's scary. He might even be right. You know, like,
Yeah.
like I'm half Chinese, man. Chinese people are fucking crazy, man. Like, if anyone's gonna come up with some sort of virus to like kill half the world, it's China. They're
Yeah.
like, fuck it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's try it. See what happens. There's a billion of us. Doesn't
Well,
matter.
Isn't China like they're all about like power and power plays, right? Like that's an ultimate power play for them to do is, you know, hey,
Create something that they can control and then take out people.
Oh
Trump
yeah,
was
like
like,
China like blocks Google.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
exactly. They
Which
play
might be
the
a
power
smart way to
card.
do things though sometimes because how they seem like they're controlling where we look and things when I watch that whole documentary.
Well,
on
it's
it
funny,
was
but
social-
if you look at what's happening in your country right now, it's like that's what's happening with Twitter and Facebook now, right? They're kind of like learning the lessons from fucking communist China and be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, maybe we should just not let people access information.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're basically stopping you from reading things and you can't post things. And it's kind of like, okay, that's kind of weird.
So should we just be able to post whatever we want?
Good question. I say yes.
I mean,
Because I don't use it. So
here's my issue, right? Is that how do you know what's true and what's not true? Like,
Yeah,
does that mean now all the flat earthers you have to block all of them from posting? Like, and also like the media is bifurcated in the United States, right? So you have very different perceptions of fact. So then, so you know, sometimes people aren't wrong, right? They're just seeing the same information from a different perspective.
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah.
So it's like social media is a guideline, right?
Right.
So social media gives out it shows it's, hey, here's my guideline, but then people can interpret that guideline differently.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get mad, or the social media gets mad if you steer it one way too much.
Yeah.
Is what I think. Maybe like they
Like,
maybe,
okay, so here's an example of like, you know, the fallibility of Facebook censorship, right? Is that a good friend of mine, Megan Larson, like we've co-written a web series together called The Cult that we're going to be launching in early 21. How basically, you know, the entertainment industry is a cult and everybody's full of shit, but it's hilarious, right? I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Can't wait.
But okay, so we, you know, we're like really good friends, and so I ended up calling her a bitch on Facebook, and Facebook stopped me from calling her a bitch.
Wow.
Right? It like a box came up, and it was like, this has been flagged for being offensive, and so I was like, oh shit! So I deleted it, and then she replied by calling me an asshole, and it was fine.
Oh.
And I was like, what? Why is it I can't call her a bitch, but she can call me an asshole?
to me, aren't those okay? Would you think those are both equivalent to each other? Because I do. I think
Yeah.
asshole is a dude to a bitch.
But you see what I'm saying? Like it's almost like a stupid debate, and yet
Yeah.
that's actually what happened. Like Facebook actually prevented me from calling her a bitch as a joke.
Wow.
But she wrote, "You're an asshole,"
And that went through.
No problem. And so I'm going, okay, so what are you doing at Facebook where you flagged my comment and not hers?
I wonder if Facebook, the algorithm for finding these offensive words or phrases or things like that, is different in different locations.
I would say so, because I would say if you're in
Sri Lanka.
which is what we learned in that documentary. Depends where you are. Your Google just come up wherever you are.
Have you seen Social Dilemma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
So good.
Yeah. It's great.
So I'm guessing like if you're gonna attack somebody in a place where they're, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But basically, if you're in a location, let's say you're in a red state,
Yeah.
right, and they're trying to control.
Let's be unbiased and let's use India.
Okay, India. I don't know anything about India. I really know anything about Canada.
Not working out.
So
let's say you're calling someone a towelhead there.
Okay.
No, but you see the point, right? The point is that it's clearly not perfectly executed. So maybe they shouldn't be censoring people if there's no consistency with the censorship. Right?
Yeah.
I just don't know why they try to, I mean, I don't know why they get too much involved.
Like, I get it. Like Trump lies all the time and, he says all this stuff and then they're like, oh, he can't lie all the time. But then all politicians lie.
Yeah.
They all lie.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris was calling Biden a racist.
And some of them have been doing it for years.
This is like their job. Like Kamala Harris in the primaries was calling Joe Biden a racist, right? She had that whole story, that little girl was me, all this stuff. And now she's the VP candidate. And now it's fine. No, Joe Biden's not a racist anymore. He was a year ago, he was a racist. And I had to cry and make t-shirts. But now that I actually can benefit, he's not a racist anymore.
It's all politics. It's all bullshit.
It's
all bullshit.
It is.
That's what it should be called instead of politics. Bullshit.
Do you know her origin story of getting into politics? Have you heard of the rumor or no?
Do you mean like basically she had an affair with that guy who like got all these jobs?
Basically had like a sugar daddy who got her into politics and she escalated from there.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Do you believe that story? Do you think that's plausible?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I don't think that it's unique. I think that they're all doing. Look, so here's the thing. I used to work for one of the political parties in Canada in my 20s, and then I quit as soon as I realized that they're all the same, right? It's just, I think if you're doing that, like that's your career, like you want to move up in the politics game, it's like you're basically just looking for power and money, and you're willing to do and say anything to get it.
Yep.
So I think the kinds of people that are attracted to that career path are people who are willing to do and say anything to get to the top.
Yep.
So here is how naive and arrogant Americans are, or at least I am. What are the parties in Canada? Like the Maple Leafs and the Blue Jays, or like what is it?
Well, don't forget the Raptors.
Oh shit, I knew that one.
Raptors are the dominant political party.
What are the so what are the political parties
and the Drakes?
So okay, well, I mean, we can really get. I actually love talking about politics, but I didn't want to derail this comedy podcast. This hilarious.
Wow, this is so much
politics.
I mean, we're giving like a lighthearted side of it, so I'm curious now.
Canada's actually really interesting politically, and I actually think that the U.S. could benefit by emulating what we do because we have a 3-party system. So the problems that persist in the U.S. would never happen in Canada, just because there's 3 parties, right? So you would never have one party against another because anytime that happens in Canada, the third party just comes up the middle and kind of takes a bit from this side and a bit from this side, and then everybody goes to them. So we have instead of the Republicans, right? They're just called the Conservatives. I think they're now called the Progressive Conservatives. They keep changing the name, but basically we have the right as well. And then we have the Liberal Party, which is
the Blue Jays.
The Blue. Well, basically the Raptors because they're in power now.
Oh, yeah.
But it's minority government. So that's another thing that cannot happen in the U.S. is that you can have a minority government in Canada, which is the situation we're in now, where you have one party that has the most votes, but they need another party to be in a perpetual coalition with them in order to rule. So they're constantly compromising, or the government falls, and now you have to have another election.
Oh shit!
Isn't it good though to like compromise on things?
Yeah. So that's what's good about having a 3-party system, right? Because I actually think that both the Republicans and the Democrats make some really good points, but they're too busy trying to kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no position in the middle where you can be like, well, I like Trump's economic policy, but I like what the Democrats are saying on race. Like, can't we have a party that does both of those things?
Yeah.
So that's Canada, right?
Wow. Yeah, I think you guys like going good there.
Yeah, I think
the move.
Yeah,
time to move.
Come up.
The only problem with Canada is winter.
Oh yeah.
So how can? Well, I can do dual citizenship, right? Like you
have to have 2 places, right?
You know, a lot of people do that here. They just spend 6 months of the year in Florida, and then they come back up here when it's warm.
A lot of them come here.
I don't know if I could spend 6 months in Florida.
We have a big Canada following here. Like there's a lot of places here that actually have
snowbirds.
That's what they call them. Snow. We have a lot of Canada flags throughout the valley where they're like the Arizona flag, the U.S. flag, and then the Canada flag.
I honestly thought that was a maple leaf.
I'm like, that's weird.
Look, the winter sucks, but I mean, there's a lot of states in the U.S. that also, have shitty winters.
Very true. Well, we don't live there.
So we've been pretty selfish so far on this podcast, talking about everything else but what you have going on.
Yes, tell us.
So you have, you just mentioned it on Prime, The Market, and this is based off of Wall Street.
Yeah, so basically it's sort of like a gangster movie about Wall Street bond traders.
Oh, God.
Oh, like The Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, so it's funny because I wrote my play, and it was actually a big hit in Toronto. And then 6 months later, Martin Scorsese announced his new film project, The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, jerk.
Although, to be honest, I really do think that my script holds up. I mean, I don't have Leo DiCaprio, but it's, I've been a pretty accomplished playwright here in Canada for 2 decades, and The Market's my best play. So I get amazing testimonials. So, guys, if you ever get a chance, if you have Prime, Amazon Prime the US, check out The Market.
I'm gonna check it out because you already sold me on it because I love investor stuff, like money stuff.
He loves
And I've had 50 people from the finance industry tell me that it's exactly right. Like the dialogue is perfect. Like I did a lot of research. It's the most vulgar Canadian film ever made.
Oh, awesome!
It's the most politically incorrect Canadian film ever made.
So 42 Beezer said throughout the whole thing. Like, come on, buddy.
Oh no, dude. It's like it's really it's bad. It's really bad. Like I got in trouble on Facebook because when the characters drops the N-bomb, like every bomb is dropped, right? Like they're misogynistic, racist, homophobic, like and I do not hold back. Like it's vicious. But it's like exactly how they speak. But then I've also elevated the genre because I take exactly how they speak, but I also turn it into a gangster movie. So it's kind of like Glengarry Glen Ross with guns.
Oh, Glengarry. You ever seen that?
Yes,
it's a good movie.
Yeah. So Canadians are deeply offended by my movie, and then Americans are like, "Oh, that was pretty good."
Is that the movie you were talking about earlier that they were mad about?
Yeah.
Mad at you about being offended, or?
Oh yeah, because like if you say the F word in Canada, like some people are like, hey, like calm down. They probably use the F word 400 times in The Market. Right?
Wow.
Like it's so beyond what's sort of acceptably Canadian that not one single film festival in Canada showed the movie. They wouldn't even show it. And yet now
Wow.
we have such a growing audience, and especially in the United States, and people are like, this is awesome. But you don't have films like that here, right? Because it's like the government funds all the movies, so they don't want anything offensive.
How much cocaine is in it?
A lot.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you hear about what Oregon just did?
Oh yeah.
No, what
That's
happened?
close to you, right? That's close to where Toronto is, right?
No, it's
I know. I'm fucking with you.
we're closer.
I know.
To that
I know. I know.
Jesus.
I'm telling you how the maps are all fucked up.
We can't pass a geography test.
No, I know. But go ahead and tell them what happened in Oregon. Just
So-
that.
What?
Oregon, the state of Oregon in the United States just recently decriminalized cocaine and heroin.
Wow.
So now you don't have
moving
to,
there.
now you don't have to go.
Boys,
Now you
we
don't have to
gotta
go to
go.
Amsterdam. You can just go there.
The funniest comment I've seen so far is like, wait, did Oregon just become the Amsterdam of the United States?
Yep.
Right. Like, what's the thinking? Like, I understand, like, people want to be progressive, but like, this whole defund the police thing. I just go, guys,
Yeah.
do we really think it's a good idea? Let's just not have police. That'll make the world safer. Like,
I
really?
don't.
That's
So
dumb.
and that's the thing too. That's where people are getting the message wrong. And maybe they shouldn't have called it defund the police, but basically they're trying to replace some of the police officer situation with social workers, with drug AA essentially, or drugs anonymous type people, so cops
Well,
can go and fight.
Then I don't know if that was the media or
I
how.
mean, I've heard people in Toronto say abolish the police. They remove the ambiguity of, it's not reform. It's like abolish the
People
Yeah,
in
like,
Toronto were saying that.
in Toronto. This is in Toronto.
What the?
Like, honestly, I think that police should be fighting crime, right?
Yeah.
And then if we have people that are getting locked up for heroin abuse, right? Not trafficking the drugs, the ones that are taking it, they should be sent to, or not sent to, but they should be working with the social worker
I would agree.
to try to get off of the rehabilitation.
Yeah, look, I agree with all these things. I just think that
It's-
if you have a state where now everyone can just do any drug ever,
go there.
Do you think that bad things aren't going to happen there now?
No, I honestly think that Vegas should be one-upping Oregon at this point. They should be like, what the fuck? Why are we not on this already?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then, what's funny is that if you do that, we were making all the mob jokes, but you probably piss off the mafia, right? Because now you're taking money out of the pockets of the mobs that have been running the drug game for how many decades, right?
I mean, they're already doing that with the weed, but at this point, yeah, we would be pissing off the cartels for sure.
Well, they're not making their money off the weed. I mean, they're making their money off the hard stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
You didn't hear that from me, though, boys.
Yeah, because you're connected.
All right. Okay.
I'm connected.
Hey,
I can't-
Bobby D. I'll come to Arizona. I'll find you. You pay me. Sorry, guys. I just watched The Sopranos during COVID, so it's a little
Me
fresh in
too.
my
Well,
mind.
I watched it right before COVID.
I
happened.
need to
just
start
watched them
watching
all.
that all over again. What?
I watched them all.
Best
You've
show
seen-
ever. It's the
You've
fucking
seen the
best
entire
show
thing,
ever.
right?
That is.
Say it again.
You've seen the entire thing, right?
I watched all of. I binged the whole motherfucker in like 3 weeks. I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
I loved it.
What did you think of the ending?
Well, okay. By the ending, do you mean the final moment?
Spoiler. Shh. No, I'm just fucking.
The
I
final-
won't spoil.
Yeah,
no, go
final
ahead.
scene-
It's like 20 years ago.
I mean, so I'm also obviously a writer.
yeah.
So I think I knew what he was going for. I mean,
Was he leaving it open?
yeah, of course. I mean, I don't want. It's not really a spoiler, but I can talk about. I'll say what I think.
Yes,
I
please.
think that he purposely ended the entire series on sort of anticlimax because he wanted to reinforce the idea that every moment in Tony Soprano's life is a possible crescendo, and that would persist for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Very. Yeah. I mean, not to spoil whatever, My
Go ahead.
thoughts are it kind of left you either way. Like, yeah, it was either a happy ending or he possibly, they'd have all died.
He got killed off.
You know what I mean? So it could have been either way.
Yeah.
You don't know because it just went black, but that's
Yeah,
the
it's not really like
non-right.
a spoiler. It's just because it doesn't reveal any plot. It's more structural.
Right.
But I think the idea was that you could write in season 6 of The Sopranos, in my opinion, now is the best season of any television series in the history of television. I mean, you had David Chase who created it, plus you had Matthew Weiner who created Mad Men, and Terrence Winter who created Boardwalk Empire, basically write every episode of season 6.
Wow.
True.
A lot of good shows.
It's just it's just gold. And then you'd have fucking Matthew Weiner and Terrence Winter writing together, and it's just like gold.
Yeah.
Winter.
Winter is Wiener.
That's Winter in my house.
Red Ramblings, one of our podcast friends on Instagram, he goes, he jumps back to our talk about Oregon and their legalizing. He says, legalized shit, tax it, put that money on the goose.
Yeah. I think that here's a crazy, possibly silver lining, right? If you have a problem or you're just really big into those types of drugs, you have a place now. Like you have a nice little haven you can go to. And you can
I just came up with a conspiracy theory.
Go.
I love it. Let's go.
Okay, here it is. The whole world is reeling, right? So in Canada right now, we usually have a deficit of about 40 billion. And right now, I think we're at like 500 billion for this year alone because of COVID, right? So every government's getting fucked because jobs are down, right? So the government needs money. Well, here's a good way to get money. Subsidize the illegal drug industry.
Wow.
And take some of that, right? You're essentially competing against the underground economy. You're taking money out of the mafia's pockets and putting it into yours.
That is very true.
Boom.
To put it in millennial terms, you're basically making Bitcoin a legal tender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you think about the power, the money that's involved in the drugs.
And then you take it from an 80s standpoint and you say that the war on drugs has lost.
Yeah.
And now drugs have won. If you think about it.
And
we
Oregon,
have money trying to fight it.
One of those states where they've had a lot of shit burned down, right? I mean, there's been a lot of damage in that city. So it just seems like, well, there's a quick way to get some money back.
Yeah.
I want to say self-inflicted, but yeah.
It's crazy. Self-inflicted. Have you guys ever been to Oregon?
I have not. It's
no,
right by
but I'm going now.
So I've actually said this story on the podcast before, but Oregon, Portland specifically is one of my favorite places to visit. I live there. I moved there, I don't know, 6-7 years ago or something like that. And I would go every so often to visit him, at least like once a year, up until recently. And one time I ended up coming up for a weekend. His brother was living there at the time as well. And we decided to go out to drink while he was still my friend was still at work. We were waiting for him to get off of work. And so we're at the bar, we're hanging out. And the next thing I'm like, hey, what would be awesome right now is if we had some, we're sitting there drinking. I'm like, if we had some cocaine. Out of nowhere, this guy in a blouse, dressed like Disco Stew almost.
Nice.
Whoa.
Comes and he's all like, did one of you say you need cocaine?
Wow. like a Portland cocaine ferry.
Yeah, I was about to say, the fucking cocaine ferry rolls up.
Literally, he probably had rollerblades on.
You said the magic words, sir.
Did someone say cocaine?
We're like, we're only joking.
Yeah. No. Sure.
Yeah. Are you a cop?
To tell, right?
Yeah. You have to say something. But it's a funny story because now this is legal.
Now you can do anything there.
The first thing was, as soon as I heard that this is legal and you can, cocaine's free game at this point, that's the first thing I thought of. Like, oh my God, I had this moment there.
Yeah.
And did you know that Portland is the capital of the most strip clubs per capita
You sure
in
about
the
that?
United States? Yes, I am.
Why do I not live in Portland?
Tampa had the most strip clubs.
Per
So-
capita though?
I don't know if that's the case then, but I know Tampa Bay had the most strip clubs in America. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know
Well,
you
look,
went there
it
to
would
try-
make sense if you're going to sell those drugs. I mean, you got all these strip clubs. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand, don't they?
Very true.
That's what
Very
I
true.
said. That's what I
Yeah.
said. I'm like, oh, Portland, we have the most strip clubs per capita.
Yep.
Hey, you know what would go great with this? Cocaine.
Everything. No,
Look,
just
if
legal.
you're selling lots of coffee, don't be surprised. There's a lot of fucking donut shops popping up. You know what I mean? Like,
Does
True.
Starbucks take a dip in Portland because of this?
That's Washington, or they probably have some in Portland. What do you
yeah,
mean?
maybe. Eh?
The national chain. So
Oh, you gotcha.
okay.
Yeah. Gotcha.
The
You know
bikini
what's funny is
coffee
I wonder if
place.
it actually decreases crime because, you know, crime is going to go where the drugs are illegal because that's where they make their dough. So if it's legal, it's like, well, we're not going to make any money here. We might as well go somewhere else.
That's where it's going to be like the good experiment, right? Like if we'll see how this plays out,
Yeah.
and let's see where either it trickles other places or it's just going to become a show.
The safest
Oregon.
state in the United States.
Yeah, come here, hi, go to sleep.
But like, I don't know if like creating a
Portland.
whole bunch
Wait,
more
Oregon.
drug addicts is good.
Well, yeah, I guess you're on the side.
Yeah,
just
okay.
come.
Sounds like, hold on a second. I'm
Oh
on
wait,
the cocaine side.
Yeah, if you're on that side, it splits the whole fucking state. You got one side where you're fucking sleeping all the time.
Right.
The other side fucking up all
Wired.
night, just having a blast.
They're
'Cause,
working
I mean,
the stock.
isn't that what laws are for? Like laws are there to incentivize behavior. So, you know what I mean? It's like the reason that there's people go to jail or get killed for murder is so that they stop murdering.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's scary.
It's not because it's like wrong. It's like people, if you're driving and somebody doesn't signal, you want to fucking murder them. It's like if you got a quarter every time you murdered somebody, it's like we'd have 5 people left in the world in like a week.
That's true. And a lot of rolls of quarters.
So Red said he's not sure about legalizing the hard stuff, but shrooms and weed.
Well, it's already passed in Oregon for that.
Well, I don't know if you noticed too. Like
There
a lot
was-
of other states
did
have
mushrooms.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
legalize microdosing.
Yeah, a lot of states actually prove you can do mushrooms. So really, their whole country has turned into a fucking.
That's what I'm saying. The
It's
United
turned
States
to
is
a-
turning
it's-
into fun
it's
now.
turned-
Like, why not?
It's turned into one drug dose. You're already there with all the pharmaceuticals, but now
It depends where you go. It seems the U.S. is so extreme. You know what I mean? Like some states just seem so like, yeah, man, do whatever, it's fine, you know. And then you go to other states and it's like, did you talk to her? And they like cut off your dick or something. Like,
yeah,
it just must be very confusing. You know, very different kinds of people in the U.S.
Definitely Pennsylvania.
How's the pharmaceutical game there? As far as like, do you guys like every commercial? Like every 3 commercials here
is a Viagra commercial.
Well, it's a pharmaceutical for something, right? There's always something wrong with somebody. And
AstraZeneca.
there's always something. You guys have tons of those there in Canada where you guys are
not at all, because we have free healthcare.
Oh, so they don't.
Right,
yeah, so it's all about pushing the drug on us.
Profits there.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
Okay, that
So
makes
there's
sense.
still like you know, like you still have to pay for some pharmaceuticals depending on, you know, like what they are. Like you pay, but it's subsidized. But the
Right.
healthcare is free. Whereas, and this is the thing about the US, because I've thought about maybe going there for work, but it just scares me. Things like that, you know, where it's like I've just heard all these stories like you get cancer and then you have to sell your house in the US. It's like there are all these businesses that are in the business of like getting you sick and then taking care of you once you get sick. Where in Canada, because it's free healthcare, no one's really making money off you getting sick. We'd rather you didn't get sick because then you don't contribute to the lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's how it should be.
That you bring that up, and there was a period of time where, and this kind of got me onto like a universal health care or some type of universal insurance for every United States person as something we should have. Is a few years ago we got myself, my wife, my family has gotten into a car accident while we were in California. My wife shattered her wrist.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And as we come back to Arizona, we get the bills from everything in California. You're talking about, I had insurance at the time, so insurance should cover a lot of this, but still thousands and thousands of dollars of bills.
Oh no.
And then I took her to a specialist here in Arizona to get her to fix her wrist. And very good guy. We basically did like an interview, like, hey, what type of work you do, yada yada yada. And still, the insurance would only cover a portion of it. And we're coming out of pocket, and I'm not talking like a couple $1,000s. I'm like, I don't know if they charge a certain premium. Okay, well, we know the insurance is at least going to cover this, but then we know these guys are stuck with X bill. But I mean, you're talking about this is before I was like even an underwriter at Chase. Like this was like big money at the time, to where, okay, I have to go get a $20,000 credit card to make sure my wife can get a surgery. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's years ago.
Yeah, years ago.
Basically, it's
she's dead now.
Yeah,
so don't worry about it.
It fixed itself.
Yeah.
Is that a joke or?
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh, welcome to
I didn't know if I should add to that or.
You can do. Yeah,
that was so awkward for me. I was like, oh yeah.
That's good.
I am going to be murdered as soon as I get home.
Oh, yeah,
but either way, it's fine. Yeah.
Listen,
so someone's dying.
Look, I originally studied economics at the University of Toronto, which is one of the best universities here in Toronto. And in the country, right? And then I transferred to theater, and then devoted my life to poverty. So that was a good call. Good call, Bob.
Nice.
Well, you started a podcast, so I mean, you're making millions of lint hair pennies.
Yes,
exactly. But I will say, in the study of economics, it's all about incentives for human behavior. So the problem is that I think if you have this for-profit medical industry, like, how do you know if people are fucking lying or not? Because it's like if they're making dough off fucking dicking you around and charging you all this shit and giving you all, like, it's like go buy a car, and how many things are they? Get this new paint and get this thing, it's like they're always going to try and upsell you.
Clear coat.
Wow. God, I think I'm moving to Canada.
Where is it warm?
The 6-month thing.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, we'll just buy a whole bunch of land up there and we'll get 2 places.
When you leave Canada, like, to go travel, do you have to get special insurance or approved special insurance? Okay.
So they won't pay abroad.
Well, what if you're dual citizen?
What if it's a dude?
A dude? What do you mean?
I mean, look, first of all, we can't even leave the country for the next 10 years. So, thanks, China. Oh,
yeah, China.
That's me. Fuck. But I don't, I don't travel internationally so often, but I definitely know people who, like, if you get in an accident, you get sick, and you're forced to go to a hospital in the US and you're traveling. If you don't have the right insurance, it's like you're paying for that shit. And even then, I don't know what the rules are. Like with you, right? You had insurance, but if you're like out of state, then, depending on what it is, now you have to pay all these extra costs. And look, I just think it's very simple. It's like when people want to fuck you, like, they fuck you, right? So
they're gonna,
it's tough, right? Because when you set up rules where people can, like, take as much money from you as possible, like, they'll do it. That's actually what my movie's about. On Amazon Prime, The Market.
I'm gonna watch it. You already sold me. I can't wait to see it.
Please,
and we gotta apologize because we have to apologize. Normally, when we have a guest on, we watch like their most recent or hit.
Yeah, so, and then we can kind of touch on it. And it's been a weird couple weeks for us.
Yes,
just to say.
It's fine. I just hate you both. It's not a big deal.
No. We love you. So that's weird. That's a weird.
Clearly, you don't know me. That's your first mistake.
Don't worry. I'm gonna get on Facebook and say
What?
"fuck you" when you say something next. So.
Yeah. The next time you
good.
call it a
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah,
I love you guys. Go fuck yourself.
fuck
Okay.
yourself.
But
Thank you.
so you brought up, the market. Well, we talked about the market.
We should also talk about Trish.
Yes, that's what I
So
was
we
gonna
had
bring
Trish
up.
on.
Oh yeah, Trish is great.
Yeah, so we had her on a couple months ago during the COVID, but we had her on a couple months ago when it first was fresh in the COVID world.
You said that you co-produced Milk, which we haven't seen that either, but
Thanks. Good.
No, it was great.
This
It was
is
great.
the least professional interview I've ever done.
Don't worry.
Which is why it's my favorite. So
Don't worry.
Hey Bobby, how did promoting your movie go? Oh, it was great. We talked about fucking strippers and Portland, and this guy got in a fucking accident. I heard about that for 45 minutes.
10 minutes, probably. He did dwell on that too much.
The full hour was devoted to his wife's wrist. That'll help my movie. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks for shit.
This is what our podcast is about, though.
Anyways, Trish
like
was on,
Yeah.
and she had a great time, and we're happy you're on, obviously. But yeah, we do. I want to see the market. I'm gonna see the market. I promise you.
Yeah.
And the milk had several accommodations.
My big question is, do you have any juicy information about Trish while you co-produced and started?
Yes, we've slept together. Jeez.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
Right?
I've not slept with Trish. It's funny. I say that because so many
I'm
people
totally
thought
taking
Trish
that
and
out
I
of
were
context.
dating. Many people thought Trish and I were dating because we did this short film. We played a couple, and then we did this. We just anything, right? Instagram. We did a photo shoot, and it's like us as a couple because it's about a couple.
Well,
and then
the cover art of this movie is you two like
almost
looking
kissing,
over,
like almost kissing. It seems like too.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
it's pretty close.
It's over. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, I've heard comments. People are like, "Oh, how's your softcore going with Trish?" I was like, "It's just whatever. It's about a couple." And also like we played a couple on this web series. My roommate's an escort that she co-wrote.
Yeah. Which we have. I've seen a couple of those episodes.
Stop that! No,
at least I watched something.
Stop it! Don't no.
But we're just friends and actors, right? So, but it's so funny because I've been an actor for 20 years, but people see me and Trish in photos where we're a couple, and then my friends in the industry are like, "Oh, are you guys a couple?" And I'm like, it's acting, right? Like if I play a pedophile, I don't go fuck 1,000 children. You know what I mean?
That's true. That one
maybe like 10 children, max.
Working the craft, I guess.
Max.
Yeah.
Just to get the character down,
Right. Yeah. Gotta get. Yeah.
No, I was very surprised. It's like we're just playing a couple, but no, there's no. No, I don't really have juicy stories. I mean, it was Trish's directorial debut, and like I wanted her to get that opportunity, so I said, "Hey, why don't I produce your directorial debut?" And then she's like, "Oh my God, that's so nice. Why don't you play this role?" And it was actually, the script was written based on a conversation she had with a friend of ours that passed away. So it was to honor him. And then, I don't know, somehow now Trish and I are getting married.
Congrats, man.
And we have 3 children on the way.
Gonna be.
Yeah, I think we're invited.
Yeah, of course.
We got the.
We know both of you guys.
You're both bridesmaids.
Of course.
Yes, exactly.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That's us. You got it.
All right, we'll all get married. We'll do like a 4-way.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I like how this is going.
This is turning
That's
really
how we do it in Canada.
That's why we're moving.
Swinger wedding.
That's why we're gonna move.
Yeah. It's funny.
Again.
I am joking. Yet I do think that, and I've said this, once COVID is over and quarantine and lockdowns are over, it's going to be orgies all the time.
I totally thought you were going to say Trish was a swinger.
No.
Did
you call her Rain?
Yet, but everyone will be. People are so deprived of touch that I just think everyone's going to be like touching and sucking and licking at each other like all the time when this shit is done.
It's probably true.
I honestly think that Arizona is going to be the most ultra conservative to his theory because coronavirus didn't exist here.
What do you mean?
No, it did, but most people didn't believe it was a real thing, so they just continued to do what they regularly did.
That's
Anyways.
true. That's true.
Really? For how long?
I think it's still going on.
Yeah, I mean it's
Wow.
not
It really hasn't.
If you walk outside right now and ask somebody about coronavirus, and it'd be like get away. I mean, people do the mask thing because the big box stores and things like that require it, but beyond that, it doesn't exist.
It's kind of business as usual.
BAU.
Really?
Yeah, it is here for the most part.
People are terrified in Canada. Like, we're such a compliant society.
Yeah, here it's like that. Like, I mean, you see all the memes and the things on Facebook where people are flipping out because you can't tell me to put on the mask. Those people are, kind of screwing things up for
Taking my rights away.
those people.
It's just hard to know. Like, there's 338 million people in the U.S. So, I'll see like 13 people freaking out, but I'm like, there's 338 million people.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's why I don't know what to believe about the U.S. because I get all this information from the media, but I don't really know what's happening there.
Oh, you know what you should do?
Come visit. Come stay with us.
Follow the Amigos PC, and we will give you the right information.
Oh yeah, the news that is not so much news.
Hey man, if I'm down, I'll come hang out.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Come on down.
Yeah.
Mark knows all the barbecue places. What were you guys talking about earlier? The food?
Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
All the Korean McDonald's that you can eat
in
Arizona.
I will take you to the McRib.
Yeah. December 2nd, it's coming back.
The authentic McRib.
Yeah, the McRib.
Authentic one.
That was my nickname in high school.
It was McRib. Nice. Well, it's got the Italian there,
right?
Well, no, that's
Irish.
That's Irish.
Yeah,
never mind. Sorry, we got to rework that.
Sorry, we'll make it work.
Yeah, we'll work on that later.
We'll figure it out.
We'll put a pin in that.
Is there? So I was reading some of the stuff though about it. Within the thing.
So you cut out?
Oh, I was reading up on the market though, at least, and is there a conspiracy within the market? Like what? I was reading.
Well, I don't want to give everything away, but yeah, like the central premise is that it's essentially a conspiracy theory about these four guys who crashed the bond market internationally on purpose to make $12 billion. But the whole thing sort of functions as an allegory, and it's really about the raw violence that lives inside of men. So it's a very, very intense movie. It kind of merges international economics with just like a really dark, disturbing gangster movie.
Nice.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I took the headphones out because I didn't want to hear too much because I want to watch it.
Oh.
That's right. Yeah. So I didn't want to be. I know you were talking.
Well, I didn't.
You kind of had this thing that was in the.
He just went on IMDb and he read.
He
the
basically
premises.
read. Yeah, he did. Basically, but
I haven't even seen the movie, to be honest.
You have really?
The market sounds like a piece of shit.
You had to have seen it.
Another finance movie.
Unless you're like an artist in a sense where you don't want to see your work. Maybe like you do it and you're like, oh, I don't want to see it.
Dude, I directed the fucking movie. I watched the movie. Believe me.
Okay, that's true.
I'm on set like
happening.
Don't tell me what happens. Action.
Director.
I don't want to know. I don't know. How does this scene end? Even though was it a
good?
I still don't know how the movie ends.
Tell me it was.
No one will tell me.
Well, it's doing really well based on
we're getting good testimonials.
Did you have buffer girls or boys? I don't want to
discriminate.
It's a low budget film, so that was me. I just fluffed everybody.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Makeup.
Yeah. I can't wait.
That's a keyword for blowjob.
Is it? I didn't know if that was true or not. That'd be a nice.
No, but honestly, guys, watch the movie because I guarantee that you'll like it. And then,
I will.
If you don't, then I'll just say that my friend wrote it. So
there we go.
Okay, there you go.
And that you didn't watch it at all.
Yes.
No.
You told me that.
Is there anything on Netflix that you're watching? Anything that you would make a recommendation to chime into? I know you're about your work,
binging
but
on?
yeah, what are you binging?
Well, I
Besides-
actually just unsubscribed from Netflix because I've watched pretty much everything there. So now I'm actually watching HBO. So I watched Sopranos for the first time. I loved it. Now I'm actually watching Game of Thrones for the first time.
Which one? Sorry, what
Game of Thrones. Now I'm watching.
Oh,
Have you not-
haven't
have you
seen
seen
Game
that?
of Thrones?
Oh man, it's so good.
Oh, okay.
I'd never
Yeah.
seen it before. I'd never seen The Sopranos or Game of Thrones. So, and I watched the whole Lost franchise. I'm watching because I'm a writer, right? So I have all these projects. So I was like, you know what? I have time where I have to stay inside. Why don't I just binge the best TV shows ever made? Because that will help me. It's funny. I mean, it sounds maybe stupid in a way, but when you write as a job, so I also have a movie that I co-wrote that it was supposed for an American film studio, a big one that was supposed to make its debut in January, but because of COVID, like stars are not necessarily willing to shoot. So we'll see what happens with that. But essentially, I have to watch the biggest shows in the world because I have to reference them when I talk to people, because now I'm having conversations with people that are like about millions of dollars, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true.
So what is something that you're watching now that you would recommend someone watch?
Like new or old?
New.
Yeah, let's do nude. Nude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nude?
That's new.
Okay, so I have an OnlyFans account.
Nice.
So do the Amigos PC.
I do
Sorry.
this thing called the flapper.
Oh,
where I kind of
Go on.
to be honest, like I've been sort of disappointed with contemporary work.
Okay.
So I actually think that if I had to make any recommendations, I would say go and watch these classic franchises, because I don't, it's like people just want the new thing.
Mhm.
And I'm like, The Sopranos holds up, man. Lost holds up.
Yeah, it does.
Game of Thrones holds up. Like The Wire holds up. Breaking Bad holds up.
Never seen The Wire. I had to watch that one.
The Wire is amazing. The Wire was my favorite TV show ever before I watched The Sopranos.
Really?
And
yeah, I need to check that out.
They're not like they're somewhat anachronistic. Like they're somewhat dated, but it's just such quality writing and acting and cinematography that it's funny because The Market actually was my best play that I wrote and produced in 2010. And then the movie was finished around 2016, and then nobody wanted it because it's this offensive, vile piece of shit, according to all these people, right? And then the economy collapses, and my movie is essentially about an economic collapse. So all of a sudden, it's relevant again.
Yeah.
And then now people are voraciously consuming it, and my testimonials are like amazing. They're calling it like brilliant, and it's like, oh my god, like deeply like it's like I have like 15 to 20 people just singing my praises, right? So art is a funny thing because it doesn't matter when you make it. It matters like how authentic to the experience and the story it is, and I think that will resonate forever.
I agree with
Very
that.
true. Yeah.
Like one day we'll be famous. Not
One
today.
day. No, we
but
are.
One day.
We are. Shh, stop it.
Yeah,
We are.
You never know, like I remember I produced a short film, and there was this young actor who was one of our leads named Aubrey Graham, who was about 18 years old. And 3 years later, he was world famous, and he goes by the name Drake.
Shut up.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Aubrey Graham, Drake.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
So
He is pretty famous.
It's like this happens.
Anything
This is my industry.
So
People
who
get
do I have
famous.
around here to get famous?
Say it again.
Well, I gotta go. So he's looking for a little blow.
Can you log into my OnlyFans account?
Yeah.
I'll make sure I
Yeah,
record
he's
that.
gonna
That's
definitely
definitely on a paywall.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So let's
Okay.
Wants to go home.
no, because I was gonna do this.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we haven't done this in a while, but we're doing a
Okay.
trash talk, which I'm just pulling a random question out in here.
Do it.
Let's see we're gonna all answer. We'll let you answer first. You're the guest.
All right.
What secret conspiracy you believe in or you would like to start?
Conspiracy?
what conspiracy would you like to start or that you believe in?
I think you kind of mentioned it earlier.
That there's really only like 3 people in the whole world that actually have all the power, and they make fucking 95% of the decisions that affect all our lives.
Oh, you believe in like the Illuminati, kind of.
Yeah, but I think it's
not
too
the
big.
Illuminati, but it's essentially
like a committee of people that actually rule the world.
3.
Yeah, so like
3.
Stanley Kubrick's last film was Eyes Wide Shut. Did you guys see that film?
Yes.
I largely interpreted that to mean, guys, Hollywood is run by this secret society of perverts, and they're dangerous and they want to kill me. That's how I interpreted the movie.
Huh.
And then 10, 15 years later, Jeffrey Epstein's Island became mainstream knowledge.
Huh.
And then it's, it's so funny because Donald Trump's attacking the Clintons and all this stuff. And then it's like, who was at Epstein's Island? Both Donald Trump and Bill Clinton multiple times.
I know.
Yeah.
Is it weird that like the records are coming out for the flight logs and they're not saying that Trump been on a flight log to the island, but he had been on the plane?
Well, it's not weird. I mean, that's what they do. Like, I just think of it. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's say the 3 of us were in charge of the whole world. It's like, oh, they're fucked now.
Oh, God.
But if they were, wouldn't you do that? If I knew that,
one of us was in trouble, you're gonna hide it.
Yeah, like you killed, like 10 hookers in the new Portland strip joint.
Nice. Yeah.
Where we're selling cocaine out the back to our grandma's, whatever. Like,
I love where this is going.
Yeah, this is a great story. This is a good movie.
I would just take the 10 birth certificates of the hookers and fucking burn them for you guys.
And then we got to take. This is gonna go too dark because take the teeth and all the records of them.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You just
hammer them into a powder and maybe cut the coke with the teeth powder.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that might be like some new, because I mean there's already a conspiracy theory out there that there are elites eating people.
Yeah,
well, that's the way to do it. And so and that's our secret. We have the best cocaine in Oregon. And we and that's the secret, is that we cut the cocaine with the teeth, like the powdered teeth of famous people.
Yeah.
I think the elites are cutting out our internet because we're onto them.
Uh-oh.
That's really true.
Hey, sorry guys, there's just a knock at my door. I'm just gonna answer that. Hi.
Yeah. Oh no, he's dead.
Sorry, it's just my mom.
That damn Canada hitman. Did he say sorry first? Hey, excuse me, buddy. I'm here for syrup.
Mom.
Oh, it's mom.
I think it's very simple. Like, power corrupts, and anyone who's in power is going to use that power to do whatever the fuck they want. That's why people seek power.
True.
Very true.
Yes, I agree with that.
100%.
And go watch Sopranos and then Game of Thrones, and it's amazing because it's like almost the exact same show told in very different ways.
So we're all fucking doomed. Basically.
We're dead.
Yeah. Which one of the Sopranos says, "I drink wine and I know things"?
Oh, that must be all of them.
they all drink wine.
I know.
Come on.
It's the Sopranos.
Yeah.
Okay, what are your conspiracy theories?
What's mine? What's yours?
My conspiracy?
Yeah, I have too many, but go ahead. Did you have one off your head that you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, we've talked about it on the show plenty of times.
Yeah.
We're being listened by the government.
Shh, stop it. Yeah, I know.
That's a legit conspiracy here on the Amigos.
That is one.
And when I say he's thinking, I'm trying to give him time. When I say that we're being listened by the government, is the Amigos are being listened by the government, not the general population, which I'm sure that is a thing too. Yeah. But we we had an episode probably like 20 episodes ago where we went into depth of a company downloaded our entire library and continued to download our library. The company is out of Virginia. As soon as you look into this company and who the founders are and who backs it, it's high political powers at B. And could it be a national library? Sure, but why would you library and catalog the Amigos?
Podcast, yeah.
I don't know, but it is a legit thing.
Yeah.
The Amigos are being listened to by the government.
Like, why?
Yeah,
Why?
Very
I don't
good.
know.
You just want to hear some shit comedy?
They're
Basically.
interested in you.
Yeah. You wanna,
Sorry, guys, I had to rip you there. Come on.
they're trying to look into Canada.
No,
Oh,
we'll take it. Like if you can talk shit about that, that's perfectly fine. Like we'll take it. But it's just
We're there.
weird.
We're there.
Yeah,
We're at that level.
exactly.
We get your friends only page.
We're there.
Or what is it
Fans.
What?
Only
See?
fans.
Only
Oh, I'm on the
fans.
wrong
See these balls or not?
called? I'm on the wrong site.
Jeez.
I think that's a real
Friends
thing though.
only.
Like they continue to download our shit.
They still do?
Yes.
That's creepy.
Somebody's doing. Look, fuck, man. All of our smartphones are like
you know
they're
what?
being
Though?
listened to by the companies, and
Yeah.
It could be there's one employee at this place that's just sitting there and listening to us on their computer.
Oh, it could be. Yeah. So maybe we have one
Maybe
fan
just
there.
one
One fan there.
I just thought of that too.
but that's in the social dilemma too, right? That doc, right? It's like they listen to us for their algorithms, and then it's like they're
Yes.
using that info.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll talk
That was
about
weird,
like,
right?
my favorite food is pizza with like a friend of mine on the phone, and then all of a sudden there's all these like fucking pizza ads on Facebook, you know?
Oh yeah. When they listen to you, yeah. And all the ads, yeah, you're right. Like the ads on the phone, even though you're talking with somebody in the room and then it shows up on the side. That's like it's crazy.
It's funny because at first I thought you guys were Mexican because I was like, well, what is the Amigospc podcast? I didn't know.
Did you
Yeah,
see
yeah, he
Nice.
did.
No, I
He
like it.
totally-
I thought that's what that said.
Yeah.
Well, there's a long story there. But so we were the Amigo. We were the
the three Amigos.
we were the 2.5 Amigos,
Yeah. Yep.
right? So we had another guy here with us who was here a lot, Albert. He was our Mexican counterpart. He eventually just wasn't around as much. And then we rebranded and it's just me and Mark now, and it's now Amigospc. But it wasn't, I don't know, it was really
No, I literally thought it said that because
Just
when I
fell
was
as far
growing
as-
up, my first production company was called Filthy Mexican Productions, and I'm not even
Nice.
Mexican. But it's because everybody thought that
you could sell it nicely.
everybody
like,
thought I was Mexican,
Yeah.
so I just started saying, "All right, yeah, fine, I'm Mexican." And then they just started calling me the Dirty Mexican. So I was like, "All right, I'll just call my production company Filthy Mexican Production." Now, if I did that today,
It's a sex
like-
move though, right?
It's the Dirty Sanchez.
Oh, that's what that is.
Sorry, not to give you what that is.
no, I'm terrible in bed, so I couldn't name my company after sex move. I would just call it like
Failed attempt.
Satisfying Missionary Production.
Failed attempt.
Premature
Go to sleep.
ejaculation productions.
Go to
presents.
sleep early productions.
Premature ejaculation presents, and then it's like I'll roll the credits and then just end the movie. People are like, what the fuck? Like,
What was that? God, it ended so quick. My thumbs up. The end. Thanks.
It lasted less than a minute.
that did happen once. I remember. I'm not gonna say who, but there. It was like I was like such a beautiful girl. I was like, I can't believe I get to be with her, and then it was over, and it was. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like it was like that only, and it was like in her hair and shit. Like it was just like what? Like it was just.
And
like,
then Trish was
and
like, this
that-
happens all the time.
And that's where the concept of milk came from. Did
I
I
didn't say it.
did I nail it?
You're gonna have to watch the movie.
I got to. I know. I'm sorry that I didn't finish it.
You're gonna have to watch the movie.
And neither did she.
You know what? I have heard everything.
Either.
Milk. Like
Water.
it could be such a pure title, but I've heard every kind of
Of course.
joke that you could hear. It's a good one. It's a good joke.
Yeah.
Although if you watch the movie, it's like
Not,
very different.
not that. There's no milk shots.
Very, very different. It's gonna change the way I look at it now. I'm like, oh no.
No, that didn't. I wish that would have happened there.
It's a very it's like a sort of a heartfelt, beautiful romance, and now to think of it as about premature ejaculation. I mean,
Kind of ruined
I
it.
don't know how I feel about this.
Well, we did our job.
We
did
turned
our
it
job
into
for
an
the day.
8mm film.
It's fine.
Nicolas Cage makes
Yeah.
an appearance somewhere.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
But I just think our world it's so devoid of like humor now. It's like everybody's so fucking serious. Everyone just has a big stick up their ass. And
Mhm.
it's like I just think if you're a good person, you treat people well, I mean, you can take the piss out of them, It's like they're trying to like take the joy out of being human.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Life is a what is it? Like, yeah, just live life and fucking laugh about it.
Well, that's why we're
Live-
here, though.
Live. What is it? The stupid
Live,
chick
laugh,
love.
love.
The stupid chick thingies.
Where is that? Is that above it? Is
It's
that
probably
somewhere
one
in
of
your
somewhere in
kitchen?
my house. I'm sure somewhere. It's in a box somewhere currently because I'm in the move situation.
Yeah, right.
But I think that's my approach to life, man. I just think like it's just like it's just if you treat people well, like you can have some fun. Like you don't need to fucking watch every single word and opinion that you. There's so many people who are so invested in like if you say one thing they don't like, now they're gonna try to end your career. It's like why?
Yeah, they're part of the cancel culture. That's
dumb.
essentially they feel like they have a justice to serve and they need to cancel when you say the wrong thing, like pre-ejaculating Trish Rand's hair
Mm-hmm.
on milk.
Good movie, by the way.
Hey,
Yeah,
let me be
great.
clear. It was not Trish. It was not Trish.
Movie.
It was a very dissatisfying
no,
sexual experience for my partner, who
Oh.
was not Trish.
Oh,
Now,
that's
with that said,
part of the movie. Don't ruin the movie for me because I got to watch that one too.
I've dissatisfied
thing?
all of my partners sexually.
Dissatisfied.
Dissatisfied. Okay.
Yeah, dissatisfied.
Welcome
I'm a
to-
terrible
welcome to the club.
lover.
Welcome to the club.
what
I
about-
once broke my lover's wrist trying to
Wow.
satisfy her. So there you go.
In the car accident?
What?
Why would you bring that back? But
Oh, is that a bad callback?
yeah, it was weird. He was satisfying her during the car accident that broke her wrist.
How do you think she broke her wrist?
So no wonder they wouldn't cover it. It was your guys' fault.
No comment. Look, that I mean, it could be a real compliment for you.
Yeah. What were you doing with that? So weird. Was there like
Whoa,
wrist-
you broke her wrist? Yeah,
Broke
good
her
work,
wrist?
bro.
Wow.
She's drowning.
Multitasker?
Cannot be contained. That's like the Valerian steel cock, like.
Oh,
nice.
shit.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm watching Game of Thrones. Like.
You're gonna have those references.
Where are you in Game of Thrones?
I'm about to watch the season finale for season 2.
Season what? Which one?
2, number 2.
2. Okay, yeah. So you still got a ways to go.
Yeah. It's great though, man.
Where
It's so
think
relevant
it's like
too. Like it's scary.
7,
8. I think there's
Yeah, it's
8
pretty-
seasons.
Season 3.
8.
Yeah,
Wow.
season 3 is the good one, right? Like it's.
I'm gonna have the whole thing watched in a
don't-
month for sure. Maybe
I don't
3 weeks.
want to say anything,
Yeah.
but they're all good until a certain point for me. I'll say that.
It's just really scary to me that it's fictional, but
What's your
so
favorite
relevant, man.
aspect? What's your favorite aspect of the show? Is it
for me to pee?
the White Walkers? Is it the White
You know what it-
Walkers? The politics? Like what is your aspect of it?
yeah, it's the politics. It's that from the beginning of time. Actually, so I'm a Shakespeare trained actor, and is anybody there? Because I see me, and I see no one else. I'll just talk as if I'm still on air. I don't know. So I'm a Shakespeare trained actor, but watching Game of Thrones really helps me to contextualize Shakespeare.
Okay.
Were you online the whole time?
No, it's something happened and it completely blanked out.
Yeah, I noticed. It's like when I have sex with somebody, it's like that's the experience. Like I think we're having a good time, but they just completely blank out, and it's very forgettable.
No, it just completely went gone. I was like, oh, what the fuck just happened? All right, so
Yeah, like when I have sex. It's
yeah,
exactly.
exactly. What
Next.
just happened? So
Then it's over.
you're
You know?
sorry you have to repeat yourself, but what is your favorite aspect of the show?
Okay, so I was going to say I'm a Shakespeare trained actor, right? I went to theater school. Okay. I played leads in Shakespearean plays in school, and Game of Thrones has helped me to understand Shakespeare even more because it's really human. It's the best writing, and it's about humanity and just really how fucking flawed we are. You know, like
Right.
it's really like this power game where it's like survival and you're just trying to like fight a new battle every day just to like live in the world, you know? Like that's what I really get out of Game of Thrones. It's so fucking human. Like it really resonates.
Yeah, no, Game of Thrones is probably one of the best series I've seen in like a long time. Like there are so many good aspects of it. I wish they would have went deeper into. Have you read the book? You've never read the books, have you?
No.
Okay. As it started progressing into the seasons, I started listening to the books like on Audible. There's so many layers to this series of Game of Thrones that it's just, if you can't pay attention to one piece of it, you lose the character. Like it's when you listen to the books, Tyrion, even though in the show Tyrion is a huge, like he's a super badass for being, you know, this midget, know-it-all, of power, spoiled little brat, essentially. He becomes a better character as you keep going on. But in the show, because I don't think that you're at the Battle of Bastards yet, are you?
No.
Okay. So at some point there's going to be this part in the show, and it's in the more earlier seasons. I don't know if it's season 1 or 2. You say you already finished 2.
It's got to be 3.
It's got to be 3. But Tyrion becomes this super badass book with this
Comparing book movie.
kind of right now.
You don't read. Oh, you listen.
I can't read. I don't
you
even
listen
know
to them,
words.
though.
No, I listen to
Yeah, that's why.
Dude, I can't wait. I can't wait until the last book. But what I was saying was that there are certain aspects in the show that you're like, the development here in these characters is amazing, but book, it takes it up that extra notch.
Yeah. But there's more time.
You did it. So you took the market. It was originally a play, and then you made it a movie. Were there certain things from the play versus the movie that would? I just thought of this question. That were, I wish I would have done that in the movie versus the play, or maybe the movie did something, and you're like, I wish that was in the play.
To be honest, the movie's actually better than the play, and the play was very, very well received. Because. So I did the play, and we did a 3-week run. We did an interesting way where we did it in a corporate office downtown Toronto, and then we set up seats in this actual office. So it looked like people were actually at an office and all the shit was happening, right? Like it was pretty cool.
Okay.
But
that's really cool.
In theater, it really depends on the night you come. And our actors were actually pretty good, pretty consistent. But, like if you came on a day where you got a shitty seat, then all of a sudden you were blocked from seeing somebody's face when you really wish you could have seen their face. So when you do a movie, it's like this is the close up, right? I can control where do you look. Where when you do a play, the audience is free to look at whatever the fuck they want to look at. They could during the climax where somebody's crying, maybe they're looking at the computer because something gets their attention, right? But in a movie, it's like, as the director, I can control, you're going to look at this, you're going to look at this, I can tell the story in a very detailed way. and it's like I can give you the best take of the actor every single time. So the level of intimacy in the movie is way better than the play. And actually the movie's a bit longer than the play, so I actually got to get a bit more into the characters' backstories than for the play. But I can imagine if I wrote a novel, like if I wrote a sort of a prose version of The Market, like we'll get really in depth. Am I on air? Because if I am, this is a very dissatisfying experience for all of you. Just like when I make love. I'm sorry. Do I need a haircut? I feel like I need a haircut.
Thanks for carrying the show.
Okay. Did I black out again?
Yeah, he's there. Oh, no, we're still there. No, we're still just
Buffering.
I'm here.
Oh, there we go.
Hello?
Hello.
thanks
Can
for
you hear
carrying the show.
Was I? Oh, fuck. Was I?
So
N-
the podcast got everything you just said.
Did it?
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Oh, that's good. The video cut out, but
That I said
Everything
or
you
that
said
you
was-
said?
nice.
Wow.
If you're still there,
Wow. It
that's all right.
hurts.
We're gonna keep it. No, we
Here.
like it. It's good.
I need a haircut. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I'm still on air.
Oh, we're still on AOL dial-up in our studio.
Like, I was like, should I just start whacking off? Like, and I was like,
We're gonna be
well,
moving soon.
like, maybe it helps my career, but is it worth it?
No, it's
To
still
be the
not
Kim
working.
Kardashian of the Canadian film industry, you know?
You're gonna show your ass
Oh,
everywhere?
you're gonna do a
So
nice
you got a
little
sex
movie
tape
for
or
us?
what?
I don't know if anybody wants to see it, but I'm happy to show it. I mean,
Nice.
But I
right,
was
well-
just saying, like, writing a novel about the market would have been way different than the play, right? Like, because a play and a movie aren't
true.
really so different. I mean, you're just doing it live, but like in a novel, like you can write like 200,000 words about backstory, and it's very different.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean, with a novel, you have to like create. He's still kind. It's gonna be. Could be.
What is the government is definitely listening. They are not happy with this interview. All I keep hearing is this one fucking interview is gonna end my entire career. Great. Thanks. Ever since I mentioned we have free healthcare in Canada, I pissed off the entire country. Hello? Live, one night only, Bobby Del Rio's.
Visit us at Amigospc.net for our entire library of content and Amigos merch. Till next time, adios.
Like shit.
I know it does.
Fuck.
What the hell just happened?
What the
That was
fuck?
like computer generated. Like it should have just been.
That's the government hacking our shit, like, for
You still there?
sure.